Ennia Corvinus.
And this is Lovy Kravzit. You're listening to 191.
Local 191, that it's awesome and rocks.
And just so that people can see that there's a wide, vast variety of music that's in our genre. And, it's great because we do get a list of great vendors. We have about 14 vendors for this show alone. We have tons of, giveaway prizes for best, steampunk costume, vampire costume, goth, industrial, witch costume. Well, I like to think that witches don't dress, they dress like that all the time. And so, it's a great time. And we do have, what did you say, the first 30 get a...
I am giving a free gift away to the first 30 people. They're kind of cute and kooky and neat, and you're going to definitely use it right then and there. So, first 30 who come, get a free gift. Look for Ennia, get a gift. That's it.
What kind of vendors you guys? Is there a mix of...
Definitely a mix. There's a mix of leatherwork, steampunk, horse goth, fangsmith, that kind of stuff. Corset, vendor ones, jewelry. So it's really good. We even have steampunk watches. And that's from my friend Oliver, who has helped me out as well.
Can you define steampunk?
Steampunk, from as far as I'm concerned, my take on it, is a basic adaptation of the Jules Verne's novel, taking it into the theory that what if we had the technology of today back then. And that's one of it, but there's other theories behind it, and I love it. I mean, we just went to Dorian's Pollard
last night, and that was a blast.
And it was incredible. I loved it. Yeah, and that kind of stuff.
Double tree the tower.
But basically, for the Nocturnal Witches Ball, which is really run by the National Goth Party, is a political movement that we decided to start some of us. And what we want to do is put an umbrella group out there to protect people like us from, maybe some ideological idiots that want to get rid of us. And I'm working on getting lobbyists, I'm working on getting lawyers, I have all these kind of things in place to protect the people who are like us, who believe that we have a right to be.
Jason said that part of one of your platforms is to raise money to give people in defense lawyers that are wrongly accused or treated badly.
Sure. Well, part of that is when you join a group like this, you do want to defend people from people who are frivolous lawsuits. I do know that, for example, there have been some institutions and businesses that have been shut down just because they didn't fit the criteria of another group of people. But my feeling is, if you're an American citizen, you have the same rights as any other individual American citizen. So I don't understand why one group has to have say over another. And that's I think anybody can feel that.
Was there a moment or something in time that happened that inspired you to take upon the American Goth movement, the National Goth Party?
I was always into it. I was always into this. And the real reality of the situation was, I was probably one of those kids. When I was younger, I was homeless. I lived on the streets. I lived in New York. And I kind of, grew up on my wits, and then I kind of realized that the only way that people are going to help each other is if people like us help us first, and then we can help each other. And that's where I came to that realization that if I could ever, if all the powers in the universe come my way and help me, I would definitely want to help other people. I mean, that's what it's all about. If you sit there and just be greedy, I think that's really just a losing, scenario to me. I've always been.
Unfortunately, that's very American nowadays.
Yeah, we live in a very patriarchal society based on patriarchal faiths. I mean, I'm sorry to say that, but we need to stem a balance. There used to be a balance between the patriarchal and the matriarchal, but now it's run amok with just we no longer are in tune with a side. It's kind of like the yin and the yang. You have one white and one black, and then on each side they have one little dot of the other color to show balance. And right now we live in a society that has no balance.
I couldn't agree with you more. Do you see this, the National Goth Party? I mean, you say it is a political movement. Do you see it as just really handling certain political situations, or do you see it eventually turning into something that could be an independent party?
I would love to see it as an independent party, because I think that, like I was a huge fan of the Misfits, and the Misfits says it all. We're Misfits because they don't accept us. And that's basically the bottom line.
And I think even with that being said, you know, even the people that wear it externally, there's a lot of people internally that have the same culture and feelings and that aren't represented in a major part of the populace with the Democratic and Republican parties.
Right.
And I mean, you'd be surprised, especially on Facebook, how many people with no picture accounts, made up accounts, just to hide themselves, write to me every day saying, oh my God, this is awesome, you guys are finally trying to do something. I am, let's say, either a lawyer or an accountant or this, that, another, but I have this dark side. And I have to hide it for my daily life. But finally here on Facebook talking to you guys, I feel like, hey, this is where I really, really belong.
By the way, you're much more beautiful than Susie the Banshee.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
I gotta ask you guys too about the whole thing. Starting to turn my head, and it's like, you know, even though, you know, with things of a gothic nature or anything with the immigrants, you know, there's an outward appearance of, you know, of a darkness, but I mean, I get the feeling that a lot of the views can be a lot more practical than a lot of what we're dealing with today, you know, even aside from the mystical parts that we might want to add to it, you know, I guess the ideologies are, you know, helping each other out, and, you know, the stuff that goes behind the scenes, what makes that scene. I mean, what's your guys' take on that?
Well, sure. I mean, I do view, like, you know, people think because we dress in black that we're evil, but black is the purest form, and that's one of the reasons why we wear it. But the thing is there's a thing called a dark light, and basically there's like false light where people pretend to be something that they're actually not. And then there are people who are actually don't pretend to be what they are, but they're very humble and they're very compassionate. Whereas, you know, you see all these people, like, you know, some political people we see, or some religious figures we see, who come off like being the most compassionate people on the planet. But then, and that is called light dark, like because they're coming off portraying themselves as light, but they're not. And then there's dark light, whereas what we are, what we're coming off as saying, we're all part of this whole part of humanity that we all live together. And so what if we wear darker colors?